Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the True Talk podcast. I'm joined on this episode by my wife Dee.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys had a great weekend.
The first thing I wanted to talk about was regarding artists like Justin Bieber. I've already seen many of you guys send me DMs through Instagram regarding Justin Bieber and also a lot in the comments. You guys want to know my thoughts if he's truly turned to Christ. In my opinion, I can't say if he has or not because I personally don't know him. But what I can say, through my eyes, he still seems to be part of the agenda, especially with everybody that he seems to be around. It's hard to accept if he's really turned to Christ. For example, like we saw with Kanye, it was very obvious that he was just using it, in my opinion, he was using his newfound faith in Christ to kind of like attract more followers from that side of the world, people that were religious. And I also feel like it's another way of mockery because Kanye said multiple times in his career that he's a god. He said that he deserves to be praised. He's compared himself to some of the most important people in history. When a person like Kanye West would say, hey, now I found Christ and I represent Christ, but then he's doing stuff like he did on his Donda and going around taking the actions that he's been taking, it's hard to believe him. Justin Bieber, kind of the same case. He's still hanging out with people like Drake. He's still most likely participating in that lifestyle. And I know for a fact that through my eyes, at least, when I see his work, I still see the agenda being pushed through it. What do you think, Dee? Do you listen to Justin Bieber?
I hear some of his mainstream songs. In the mainstream songs, I don't hear much of anything but pop music, as well as his music videos. But as far as him sending an agenda, I'm not too sure about that.
Let me ask you this. When you're listening to his music, are you paying attention to his lyrics?
It depends on the song, but it's mainly just the beat because they're just like pop, happy, energetic.
So, honestly, you haven't really considered the lyrics or the message. You're more tranced by the beat. And that's my point. I feel like a lot of people have that same issue where a lot of people don't really listen to what they're consuming. They just listen to it for the vibe that it gives them. We have a subconscious part of our brain that picks up all of this. It consumes all this information, even if you're not really realizing it. You could be hearing these lyrics and you might not think that you're really paying attention to them. But honestly, your brain is picking all those lyrics up. It's being stored somewhere in your brain. And believe it or not, it affects your behavior. You would say, in your opinion, that you think Justin Bieber doesn't push an agenda?
Not necessarily, because he is an artist, so he's made his way there doing something.
He has a very dark past. Like, there's a lot of stuff that Justin Bieber has done that's questionable. For example, I remember when he was into his hip hop phase, and that's another thing that I find weird. A lot of these pop stars, like Miley Cyrus, like Katy Perry, these artists that get big and then they start trying to like cross over to hip hop. And I feel like that's when Justin Bieber also was doing that. And at those times, he was showing his true colors. He was doing a lot of what I would say evil things. And not only that, let's say he did turn to Jesus. Let's say he's a man of God now. I would not deny if he really is. But his actions need to match his words. His music needs to match his words. If he really is turned to God, he can use his platform. I'm not necessarily saying that he has to sing full-on gospel songs. He can definitely use his platform to reach people and help people. If he truly is in the light of Jesus and found his way to God, how to get other people there and how to understand and not be part of the system that is continuing to manipulate people and guide them away from God. There's a lot of artists. People mention Lecrae, people mention NF, and I've seen the video of NF. I'm not sure if you know anything about NF. He's had some songs that's crossed over to the pop world and they've done really well. I don't know much about him because I don't follow his music, but in my opinion, I feel like it all depends on the message he's sending. The video that I did see seemed kind of dark in energy. It had some demonic vibes to it, but he wasn't really spitting that much of a dark message. He was explaining how nobody believed in him. He worked really hard and he accomplished his dreams, which is a wholesome message. I respect that message, but the vibe of the video spits a different message. And you know how I feel about videos. They have an important impact on the way people consume their music. Let's move on now. The next thing I want to talk about is a video that I was sent through DM. I forgot the person who sent it to me, sorry. It was regarding Woah Vicky and an interview that she did where she speaks about these private Hollywood parties. She mentioned that it was a party of Bella Thorne. I'm going to play a clip of it. You got to hear it out of her own mouth.
In Hollywood, if you in the industry, the devil, they, like Illuminati, all that shit, they try to get you, especially when you got a big influence. Let me tell you, what they do is they invite you to these parties, these house parties, and then they be like, oh, Whoop the Whoop gonna be there, like your favorite rapper be there. Oh, before you get in, you gotta give us your phones. Let me tell you an experience I went through personally. So I was with some friends in LA, and it was this big influencer party. It was Bella Thorne party. So I got invited from some other friends. It was on Halloween. I already don't celebrate Halloween. That's the devil's day. We get up there, they talking about, oh yeah, you can't bring your phone in, and then you gotta sign some papers. This is where it really threw me off. They said they had to prick your blood to get in. I said, oh no, I'm good.
Honestly, you can see yourself that I've been explaining these same type of rituals, you know? To hear someone who's in that light specifically speak about it. In the interview, she talks about these type of parties that go on in Hollywood, and she confirms that there's a lot of crazy stuff that go on in them. She was talking about a time that she was invited to one of her parties through one of her friends. You know, she was taken to the party. She said she wasn't feeling really the vibe. Before she got inside, they had her turn in her phone. They had her with a dress code that she wasn't really comfortable with. And they told her that she had to prick her finger in order to get inside. I've spoke about this so many times. I've spoken about the rituals that take place for these celebrities to get where they are. They use this energy. And I think that the perfect example of this would be Eyes Wide Shut, the movie by Stanley Kubrick. That was actually the last movie he made before he passed away. And many people have theorized that that movie has something to do with what happened to him, because in that movie, he shows so many things that tie directly to the Freemasons. People believe they went after him just to be able to compromise the movie and use the movie to send a message to anyone else who would ever dare to do that again. Believe it or not, it depicts a lot of real scenarios, and it shows a glimpse inside of what really happens at these dark events. It was like basically a confession from them, but since most people were just going to look at it as a movie and weren't going to look at it as anything else, the ones that got the message of being warned by the movie got the message not to speak on matters that they shouldn't speak about. Everybody else just consumed it as a really weird movie because a lot of people didn't really understand what the movie was about. But the movie is specifically about these parties. Tom Cruise plays the main character in the movie. He somehow ends up sneaking into one of these private parties, Freemasonic parties, and he sees what goes on in them. And believe it or not, these parties, they truly happen. It's, in my opinion, what I believe was going on in Epstein Island and many of these private parties that happen in Hollywood. For example, like what Vicky was speaking about, in order for people to get inside of these parties, they have to do certain things. What is your thoughts on this? Do you believe that these parties truly go on?
Yes, I do believe that these type of parties go on. One of the biggest ones that I've heard of is it was hosted by the Rothschilds, the Surrealist Party. It was hosted by the Rothschilds in 1972. You guys, if you haven't seen the photos from this, you should definitely go check them out. The main woman, Marie, she wore a head of a stag, a real one that they supposedly offed and then designed with her. It was bedazzled with jewels. There was many other famous actresses, artists, and queens and kings that were there that attended this party as well, all dressed up in crazy costumes. And then the centerpieces on the table, yeah, I definitely think that these parties do go on.
I'm 100% certain. Like I said, the movie Eyes Wide Shut, the new series Squid Games, and even the Bohemian Grove. I'm going to actually make a full video on the Bohemian Grove soon for you guys. I already promised it. These are basically the parties that happened there. When Alex Jones snuck in to the Bohemian Grove and got footage of it, we saw presidents, senators, actors, big important people dressed up as children basically, in magical gowns and stuff, running around the woods acting crazy and doing ceremonies and rituals. These are the people that run our world, and still people act like, you know, it's a conspiracy. To me, the media insults our intelligence. They make us seem like the signs are there, but we're blind. We just can't see them. When you're the reason that we're blind, you guys are always trying to make people think that we're crazy. These parties, they consist of these rituals, the cremation of care, and the way that these rituals are basically like the ritual that happens in the fall, where they have everybody appeasing the god of death. It's all rituals. They believe that these demonic entities are going to bless them and help them achieve their dreams and continue their success. When you're a bad person, you're working off negative energy. You're using negative energy to thrive. And in order for you to thrive off negative energy, you need to be on the side of negative energy. You have to be with them. And that's where the devil comes in. He'll give you those blessings. He'll put you in positions like with the Freemasons and get you where you need to go as long as you're serving him. So these parties, These men, they go to these parties, they do everything they desire, everything is left there, nobody knows what truly goes on. But what we do know is that they perform these rituals. We do know that these are Freemason men, members of the Skull and Bones, members of multiple different secret societies that run our world. These are the men that truly control everything, and they attend these secret parties. These parties that they show us a glimpse of in movies like Eyes Wide Shut, in shows like The Squid Games. People need to wake up and realize there's a reason so many people go missing every single year, and we never ever hear nothing about them again. That's not a coincidence. They tend to show us through their shows and their movies. People have seen The Simpsons predict the future so many times. It's not predicting the future. They're showing us what they're going to do before they do it. These are the people that control everything. They can't see the future. They're not magical beings. God is the only person that can see the future. All these people could do is shape the future. All they can do is direct the future. So that's what they do with these shows. And Squid Games and Eyes Wide Shut show you a glimpse of the way these people like to have fun. A glimpse into the mind of these sick people that would like to do things like this. Do all types of satanic rituals to get what they want. The next thing I wanted to talk about was actually a very important thing. I always talk about the New World Order, and I always talk about the evilness that manipulates the people, but I rarely talk about how we can combat that, how we can change those ways, how we can turn the tide and make things better for all of us, how we could actually stop the New World Order. In my opinion, it starts with each and every one of us. We have to change. We are the people that accept the order. We're the people that are okay with not demanding change and just being submissive to a group that has negative intentions for us because they control our world. We need to stop that. In all honesty, the first thing we will do is bettering ourselves. To stop the new Masonic world, we need to first fix what's wrong with ourselves and then help others find the truth so that they could also fix what's wrong with them. And then we can start being peaceful with each other instead of being negative. We tend to bring each other down to reach our success, and that needs to stop. That's something that the Masons wanted. That's something that they planned on. This is how they're going to get the world the way they need it. They need to turn everybody against each other. They need everybody chasing something instead of working with each other to achieve their goals. The Freemasons do this themselves. They're not against each other. You're a Freemason brother. The Freemasons help you get what you want. They open doors for you. They network, but then they make everybody else fight against their religion, fight against their race, fight against everything else so that they can't come together and do the same thing they do. They can't network. The truth is, there's only one message. It's just be like Jesus. Be a better person. Whether your religion is different, I'm pretty sure it's still the same message. Be a good person and then help others. They don't want you to do that. They have blinded us from being able to do that. And I'm not speaking about helping your family. Like I said, your family is part of you. We have to help each other, those that are not going to directly benefit you. Even if you think that it's not going to bring you anything, you have to think about how God will look at it. Everybody on the planet is your brother or your sister. Every single one, if we're all God's children. By you not helping a person that you think is not going to benefit you, you're actually not benefiting yourself. You're allowing God to see you as a selfish person instead of someone who cares. And that's, in my opinion, one of our biggest problems now. We're all so desperate to make it that we don't look left or right. What do you think, Dee? What do you think would be a good way to stop the new Masonic world?
I think mainly, stop focusing just on yourself, be more helpful to others and willing to want to help others, not just doing it how people do it today for social media. And think about it, there really has to be a reason that they try to keep us so divided. There's a lot more of us than there is of them. They're potentially scared that we could override them if we did take this shield off of our eyes, came together, and, stood up. There's so many people still that are blinded, that are like, they've just been conditioned to go with what they've been told. So they just follow and they continue on. And you have the ones that don't want to do that because, we don't have the veil on our eyes. We see what they're doing to us because, we've seen it with our past family members, our older family members. We've seen the struggles that they've gone through. Not only that, our generation is just a little bit more open-minded. So we see the symbolisms, the way that they act.
This is the perfect time for change. Like you said, people are able to have different forms of media to spread a different type of message. The media allows conspiracies, like they call it. They don't stop them. They just make them sound crazy. They just point at them and say, oh, look at those loonies. They don't know anything. They're insane. And that's what they have done for years. But now things are changing. The Masons have upped their antics. They've brought the symbolism to the next level. It's literally in everybody's faces. And believe it or not, this is helping people wake up. Because people are asking, what the heck is all this demonic stuff in my videos that I love so much? They're just becoming more and more demonic. And you hear one of my videos explaining why they're doing this, and it starts adding up to people. We need to change. We've been hypnotized. We've been manipulated. We're in a trance, and we just continue to walk towards our destruction when we need to turn around. God was expecting us to fail. This is why he said that majority of us are going to hell. But he doesn't want us to fail. That's why he sent us here and gave us opportunity and gave us the choice to make our own decisions and to learn from our own mistakes. He doesn't want to send us all to hell. He wants us to survive. He wants us to live eternity. But in order to do that, we need to open our eyes and stop heading towards our destruction. We have to turn around and bring as many people as we can with us and save as many people as we can. If you're not religious, okay, you don't have to be religious, but know that you're being manipulated. Look at your TV. Look at your music videos. Look at your movies. Tell me if it's not a message of destruction. Follow the path that they want you to follow, and then come back and tell me that your life turned out perfect. They want you to be destroyed. They do not want you to be saved, neither on earth nor in heaven. They have systematically built the world that they could only achieve what they want, and you can get the crumbs. And the crumbs aren't enough for you to be happy. So the best thing for you to do is at least to join a side that would want you to survive and have everything you want and you deserve. Everything that you work for. Because God doesn't want us to be poor. God doesn't want us to be hungry. God doesn't want us to be in fear. God just wants us to live the best way that we can live and honor him, because he created every single one of us. The best way that we can do that is by turning our ways around. Stop living such a selfish, destructive life. Believe it or not, it's hard to admit this to yourself. It was hard for me to admit it to myself. I'm still a work in progress myself. The way that we have to look at life, it's our opportunity to make a better way, to prove that we deserve that special place, that we deserve that paradise. The Masons want us to self-destruct because they've chosen to self-destruct. They've chosen that way. They need us to continue to be the sheep that they slaughter. They need us to continue to be beneath them as they build kingdoms off our hard work. We must not allow that anymore. We must change things, and we must look at each other and help each other the same way that they've helped each other. We have to change the tide, and we have to stand up for what we believe in and love each other and respect each other for what we really are. We're all the same. We cannot let them separate us or divide us. Now let's move on. Let's talk about Bad Bunny and the Latin music scene real quick. I've seen a lot of you guys request that I start making Spanish music artists, and I have no problem with that. The only reason that I haven't been able to do it, I'm not sure how most people that watch the channel would receive it, because these aren't really artists that they're used to consuming. So I was maybe thinking I would start a whole entire Spanish channel and maybe do the videos in Spanish for those that want to watch them in Spanish, or in English, however you guys would think. The same exact agenda that's being pushed in hip hop is being pushed in Latin music. It's just as blatant. One of you guys sent me actually through Instagram a Dominican female artist. She was again showing us the vampire facials that take place in the music industry. And she also shows a lot of demonic energy within her image. Same thing with Bad Bunny. Same thing with Anual. Same thing with several of these artists. They have the same agenda. And it's gone back from very far times. Daddy Yankee, Arcángel, Don Omar, those artists as well have direct ties to the same agenda. Their main producer, which his name is Alex Gargola, he's a known Freemason, and he actually openly speaks about being a Freemason and openly shows the messages. And this is the person who basically pioneered Spanish reggaeton music back in the 90s and the early 2000s. He's the one that made several of these artists' beats that became so big. I believe he's the one that initiated and brought so many of these young artists into Freemasonry. He's basically, in my opinion, responsible for so much Freemasonic imagery and satanic imagery that's in the Spanish music culture now. D, you were showing me an image about Bad Bunny. Can you actually, I want you to explain that image.
It's a picture of him. It shows him standing there. I'm not sure if it was for a music video or just, a photo shoot, but he is dressed in all black. He has like this long black jacket on. It splits in the middle. He is wearing a black sheer shirt and a black skirt, black leggings. But these leggings go down and the feet part are like hoofs. It literally looks like he's wearing the bottom half of what Baphomet has on. I guess you can put up the two pictures.
Yes, because he clearly does resemble Baphomet. He even has, like, in my opinion, even the skirt that resembles the Freemasonic skirt that they wear. It's clear to me that the Freemasons, they own all music, not just hip hop, not just rock and roll, not just R&B, not just pop music. They own it all. Anything that's consumed by mainstream, they have a hand in it. Anything that you can hear on the radio, they definitely have a hand in it. They're the ones that make this happen. They're the ones that have control. I'm not saying that every single artist willingly does this, but every single artist that signs a major record deal has a part of the agenda, whether they know it or not. These are artists that willingly serve an agenda, go against their own morals to make money. And like I've said, that's the same thing as summoning the devil and selling your soul. The moment you choose money over your own morals is your destruction. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money could lead you to do things that you would never do otherwise. I just want to know if you guys would want me to make a Spanish channel where I cover more Spanish artists and I talk about, the Latin scene more, because there's a lot of stuff going on there and I would love to. Please just let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the next topic. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the reason why I started a Patreon. At the end of my videos, I always tell you guys to join me on Patreon. Every month I do a raffle where one person gets a shirt and a cash prize and also gets to pick a video topic. And I also post videos on there whenever I have extra time. My actual goal for the Patreon was the moment that I reached enough Patreons, and my goal is to reach about 1,000 Patreons, that I was actually going to start giving away $1,000 a month to one of those Patreons. I actually want to do the same thing on my YouTube channel. Eventually, when the YouTube channel reaches a certain amount of viewers and a certain amount of subscribers, I will start giving away 1,000, whatever I can to some of my subscribers, because honestly, the reason why I'm doing this is that I honestly want to help all of us in the best way I can. I know how it is to struggle with bills sometimes and not have money and not be able to do the things that you want because money is tight. So I want to be able to help those people, and I want us to come together so that we could help each other. The world that we live in, I'm not saying that we live for money, but we do have to spend most of our times working for money. If I can set up a network where we could all help each other, it'll be great. So that's why I always ask people to join me on Patreon. I personally right now only give away $25, but I only have a certain amount of Patreons on there. But eventually, once I reach, a higher amount, I'm going to keep on rising it. But my goal is when I reach 1,000 Patreons, I'll be giving $1,000 a month every single month. I really appreciate all you guys supporting the channel and always watching these videos. I truly appreciate how much we've grown this channel. And I want you guys to remember that this is our community. I do listen to as many of you guys as I can. And I do go through your DMs and respond whenever I have the opportunity. And I truly appreciate every single one of you that watch. And I want to thank you guys again. And I'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye, guys. I hope you guys have a great week.
All right, guys. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram @TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok @TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.